can have it all. I can have it all.
Hi, I'm Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. In this episode, we're going to discuss inner action versus outer action. Years ago, Jack Canfield, one of my earliest mentors, shared with me a principle that's been cited by numerous other metaphysical teachers and tested by quantum physicians. 1 hour of inner work, and by this he was referring to intending, visualizing, aligning, and allowing, is worth 7 hours of outer work. Wow. Now, doing inner work does not necessarily mean sitting in meditation for hours each day. What it does mean is that before we take any outer action, we must first take a moment to clarify the intention behind that action. Said another way, we deliberately decide how we want to feel and then get into that state of feeling, state of being before we do anything. I always say to my mentees, align momentum, align momentum. A few minutes of aligning your energy with the outcome you want to create is far more powerful than hours and hours of action taking without this connection. It's the difference between using an electronic device that's running on battery power versus one that's plugged in and being fully charged by a live electrical current. Action that's infused with energy and intention produces results that astonishingly compared to what can be accomplished with action alone. Recently, I was being interviewed by a woman who was writing an article on women and entrepreneurs, and she asked me to describe a typical day in my life. So I started listing off the top of my head the number of things that I manage and accomplish on any given day. I'm a mother of my 2 boys that are 4 and 5 at the time, who I care for, I read to, I play with, all that stuff. I maintain a conscious and passionate relationship with my husband, Frederick. I facilitate 25 coaching programs each year in which I teach people the principles of deliberate manifestation and how to create the results that they desire in their bodies, their finances, their relationships, and any other aspect of their lives. Every month I tape several episodes of the Quantum Success Show, which airs on the YouTube channel. I have trained a total of 2,000 Law of Attraction coaches worldwide with the support of my team. And I facilitate an intensive coaching program for at least 50 new coaches each year. And to support all these programs, I travel to do media appearances, write books, blogs, magazine articles, my newsletter every month. I conduct introductory seminars a few times a month to give people who are now new to my work, information on what I do. In addition to managing a growing career in a multi-million-dollar business, I maintain a close relationship with a large extended family, both on Frederick's side on Montreal, where we live 8 months out of the year, and with my family in Arizona, where we travel each year to spend our winters. And of course, as a woman in my, mid-40s now, taking good care of my body is a high priority. So I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I get a massage every Saturday. I treat myself to a spa day, reflexology treatments, facials, or a trip to the acupuncturist at least once a month. Our family takes several vacations each year. Frederick and I also make sure that we get away to spend lots of quality time alone on a regular basis, date night. And as I was answering these interviewers' questions, the look that slowly crept across her face was priceless. And she's like, I'm exhausted just listening to your daily schedule. And this struck me as ironic because I'm enlivened by it. I had to smile because her response was such a perfect confirmation that every woman has a different definition of having it all. Everything I give my energy to each day is such a huge part of my it and my all. And every bit of it is a source of inspiration and personal fulfillment. The secret behind my ability to accomplish so much in so many different aspects of my life is that I make it a priority to first bring my internal energy into alignment with the essence of my desires before I take any external action. So for example, when I'm with my kids, my vibration is aligned with my intent that our relationship is harmonious and evolving and fun. When I'm doing something that nurtures my body, I begin with connecting with my intention to fulfill myself with whatever vibration I want to experience at the moment, whether it's vitality, sexuality, relaxation, increased immunity, or whatever else will best serve me in that moment. When I'm working on a project or with students in a coaching program, the frequency that I'm offering is one of excitement and joyful anticipation because I know that the best possible outcome for all concerned is now in the process of unfolding. So even if you devote just 1 minute out of each hour, making sure your actions are aligned with your intent, the cumulative effect of this over time is staggering, and the results you will produce will be far more effective. This point was underscored in a recent conversation I had with Dr. Sue Morter, who is known for her pioneering and truly mind-blowing work in bridging science and human potential. Like me, Sue said that she accomplishes at least 4 times more in her life today than she did 10 years ago, and with a greater degree of internal ease and joy, because as she described it, she's learned to access a deep place within her own system where there is complete alignment and infinite capacity. You know, the place Sue was referring to is that unseen reservoir known as intention. If you've ever heard stories about human beings doing extraordinary and impossible things like lifting a car to save a child or physically carrying someone to safety whose body weight is like 2 times their size, then you're already familiar with the power of intention. What most of us don't realize is that while times of great necessity and great inspiration draw this power to us naturally, we also have the ability to summon intention on purpose. I was working as a pharmaceutical sales rep when I was first introduced to practicing the combination of inner intention with taking external action, and my job afforded me the perfect opportunity to kind of field test this principle and find out really how effective it was. I'd already noticed that anytime I brought the inner or energetic aspect into my work by deliberately offering a vibration that matched what I wanted to create, my success skyrocketed. So I conducted a little experiment. Rather than making a certain number of sales calls each day, and I did this for a month, and going out and making appointments, all I did was meditate, and I visualized, and I intended, and I allow. But not to my surprise, my sales numbers, which were the highest in the district, just went. It fell to the lowest. The following month, I combined both the physical action of going out and making sales calls with the interaction of visualizing and feeling the success I wanted to create, and my numbers went right back up to the top. It's the combination of the two that's so powerful. You know, some law of attraction experts I've met assert that creating internal alignment is the most important than taking external action. And my personal belief is that they're equally important. There's no magic pill. Anything that we want to create requires us to put our energy into it. My friend Bill Harris, renowned in the field of personal development, and creator of Centerpoint, and Holosync, which I've actually recommended to all of you several times, we were talking about this recently, and he made what I thought was a really good point. He said the law of attraction has become associated with this idea that you don't have to do anything. He said, some folks are operating inside this misconception that you just need to identify what you want, place a picture of it on an altar, and then bam, a new bicycle will appear on your porch. Some degree of action is always required to bring about the fulfillment of any goal. But inspired action, which is the act of being energetically aligned with how we feel once the goal is attained, is exponentially more powerful than action taken alone. Action without alignment can be exhausting. Think of a dog chasing its tail or a hamster on a wheel. But action that is fueled by internal alignment has momentum behind that literally magnetizes miracles into our lives. As you learn to master the art of shifting your own energy field and modulating the amount of clarity and alignment and action you apply to each important area of your life, you will engineer manifestations so brilliantly and so perfect that they will even surprise you. This was certainly the case when I manifested my soulmate and husband, Frederick. Towards the end of my 8-year relationship with my former husband, I became acutely aware of the qualities in him that were no longer a match to the person I had become. And so out of experiencing the contrast of what I didn't want from my intimate relationship came greater clarity about what I did. You know, using a process I had learned from the amazing law of attraction coach, Michael Lozier, I wrote down all the qualities that I didn't enjoy about my ex. And I used this list to identify the qualities that I did find attractive. And as I gained more clarity about the type of relationship I wanted, I identified companionship, connection, and love as the primary feelings that I wanted to experience in the relationship. And I allowed myself to imagine and connect with the essence of how it would feel to be with a man like this. Once I had connected to this feeling of essence, I then did a series of meditations in which I imagined sending out clear intention to connect with this man, which is a process I now teach in the 4-week Attracting Your Ideal Body program, which has helped hundreds of people find their ideal partners. So anytime my vibration in relationship to manifesting the love of my life was attuned to a lower level emotion such as loneliness, sadness, or self-doubt, I would use these feelings as a reminder of my desire to experience connection, companionship, and love, knowing that I first needed to generate these feelings within myself before I could ever receive them for another person. Whenever I felt sad that I didn't have anyone to go to dinner with on a Saturday night, I would take myself out to a nice dinner where I would meet new friends and connect with people. And I would take some other action to create the experience of love and companionship, not only with others, but with myself. My life during this time happened to be an absolute state of flux. I was in the middle of a divorce and had just made the decision to move across the country to take a new position in my company. Everything was new and unknown. The key to keeping my intention clear and my vibration high was a new practice I had committed to. I started listening to and acting on the impulses that arose from within me. And I had suppressed most of these impulses when I was married because I sensed that, following them would lead me to continued growth and would therefore create even more distance between my ex and myself. So now that I had released that relationship, I was free to let myself be guided from within. One such impulse came one night when I literally was packing boxes in preparation for my move to Philadelphia. And it occurred to me like a flash of a memory, like clear as a day. A voice said, go online and register for the next Warrior Conference. And I did it. I signed up for the next conference, which happened to be scheduled 3 months from then. It was April, and this event would take place in August in Ellenville, New York. And those 3 months flew by as I was busy getting settled into my new life in Philadelphia. The day I drove from Philadelphia to New York for the conference, I felt so joyful and happy because I was already so connected to myself. I completely felt full inside. I had the sense that something big was about to happen for me personally as a result of attending, but I had no idea what it would be. And at one point, as I was driving, I heard another voice inside my head say, you're going to meet him at the conference. And the message came through so loud and clear that I began to get really excited. But then I quickly reminded myself that I was going to the conference for me and not to meet a man. So the conference began, and I get into this detail in The Art of Having It All, but that's how I met Frederick at this conference. And it was truly by me getting into that state of aligning. Now, I always say, you can align with the feeling of having love and connection, but you need to leave your front door. The pizza delivery man probably is not your dream guy. Could be, you never know, anything's possible, but probably not. So you need to take action. You need to leave your house. You need to do the things in the external world. So combining the inner and the outer, doing that inner work, and then taking it into the world, alignment and momentum, alignment and momentum. So let's continue the conversation. I hope you've enjoyed this interaction. I certainly have. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you're taking away from this information today. Please go to ChristyWhitman.com and join the family. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family. I really appreciate you being in my family, and I hope this information has impacted you. You can have it all. As you define it, as you want it, you have the power to create it. Know your metaphysical and physical. Do your inner work and your outer work, and you will be amazed at what you create. Have a great week.